and you can take it away whenever you're ready.
All right. I don't have like tons and tons of material, so I don't think this will take too long, but if you guys have questions, we can do that. So I'm going to share my screen, see if it works. All right, are you guys seeing my screen?
Looks like it's loading right now. Yep.
Okay, perfect. So I'm going to talk a little bit about how to create a like.
Oh, she messaged you too. Well, hopefully Emily's hopping on. You can keep going, Jill. Oh, shoot. Hey, Jill, I can't hear you.
Okay, hold on.
Okay, I can hear you now.
I think that's the problem. Close. Go away.
Right click on it and try and quit it that way.
There we go. I have the oldest computer. That's the problem. So, okay, maybe. There. So, create a page. So under this little tiny triangle here, you go to create page. This is on a desktop, obviously, and that's the easiest way to do it. You go to create page, and then that's where you can create your like page. So if you haven't done that already, you should do it, get it going. So then you want to pick the artist, band, or public figure. If you already have a page, you can change it in your settings. Just the one that fits our business model the best. So I'm not going to create one because I already have one. So, you'll go through all of the questions, what you want your name to look like and all of that. And our social team builder recommends using your name as your page title. So you can add on to it if you want, like mine's Jill Godby Fitness or Catherine K Fitness, something that kind of indicates what you're doing. Because if I titled my page Small Town Mama Fitness, like until I got like really, really built my brand, people wouldn't really know what that was. They recognize you first. And then you also can have like a tag. So, it's www.facebook.com/smalltownmamafitness. So you can use your other title in the page as well. So when you create your page, first and foremost, you want to make sure that you have a good picture where you can see your face and your eyes and that it's bright. And obviously a good picture. It doesn't have to be professionally taken, but just a good picture where it's bright, you're smiling, you're happy. It's just you. It's going to be confusing. Even if you just have like, your kiddo in there or something like that, that just takes up more space and takes the attraction away from you, and you want people to be paying attention to you. And then in your banner, you can introduce more people if you want, but just try to keep those pictures a little bit smaller because you want you to be like the big focus. So I did create my banner myself, but there is a website you can go to called Fiverr, F as in Fox, Iverr, where you can pay however much you want to pay. The whole idea is that you can get stuff for like $5 and have a designer create several different banners for you to use. I'm still probably going to do that at some point. I just haven't really dove into that quite yet because I don't think mine's too horrible. So, I don't know. I don't think it's bad, but I don't know. I don't know what our social team building people would think, but I don't think it's too bad. So then if you see on my banner, you can see that I put in some words here that says click to learn more. That's just going to get people to click on your banner. So do that real quick. And this is where you're going to have kind of like a snapshot of kind of what you do, but try to reel people in a little bit, because that's one of the first things they'll do is click on that banner. So then you want to kind of ask some questions. Don't just be like, I'm Jill, I went to Iowa State, and then I went to Iowa, and then I'm a nurse, and then blah, blah, blah. Like, people are like bored, don't care. So reel them in with questions that like matter to them. So this is obviously a business, so I'm starting it with, do you struggle with your weight or fitness level? Do you find it hard to take time for yourself? What you want is people to be going like, yeah, I do. Oh yeah, that too. Oh yeah. And then that's going to make them want to keep reading. Like, okay, I've said yes to all of these things. Now I'm interested. So super busy being a mom or with your career, me too. Then that's when you can introduce yourself briefly. You don't want to give them a dissertation about your life. I'm still working on kind of honing mine in. You guys can check it out on your free time. I don't want to like totally bore you with reading it to you. I feel like I've changed it like constantly. I keep changing it. So there's no like perfect formula, and I'll give you guys some pages that you can look up and just read what some other people have done too. I kind of started modeling mine after a couple that I had read. But the biggest thing is not to just bore them with talking about you forever.
And they did. One of the things that they went through when they were talking to us about our cover photo is to kind of have like a starting point, a turning point, and a current point. Was like the outline.
Yeah. So that you can say, you know, obviously, do you have these struggles? Yeah, me too. I always had this and this. How I overcame those briefly. And then, so now, like almost like a feel, felt, found. With a little bit more like questions to get them reeled in. So then, let's see, is that all I was going to say about that? Yeah, so then you obviously you can treat your page just pretty much like you would your personal page, but Facebook's not going to get mad at you for like sending lots of messages or posting about your business, because you can legit be kicked off of Facebook. You know, I think a lot of people think it won't happen to them, but I think Facebook's made it pretty clear recently that they are watching it, and people are annoyed at how many MLMs are being run off of personal pages, and Facebook's paying attention to that. So I honestly think that before too long, a lot more people are going to lose their personal accounts if they keep running their businesses off of them. And through our training, he's been pretty adamant that that is legit going to start happening. People are going to get kicked off their personal pages. Because it is a social environment, and if someone's choosing to look at a business, that's one thing, versus if they're looking at personal pages and seeing businesses. So you want to keep that in mind. If you don't have a like page yet, you should get one and start running your business off of there. With that being said, you aren't just going to post about your business, or people are going to get bored. So it's not going to be like all these posts about like, oh, look at this workout move, oh, look at this workout move, blah, blah, blah. Like, people are like, snooze, that's boring. They want to get to know you. So I pretty much just started treating this like my own personal page, with a little bit more, I mean, obviously more focus on fitness and health and nutrition. And I kind of have like a, you know, one post about nutrition or workouts during the day, and then I try to post about something else, with tying it into like a life lesson or personal development. And then you really want to try to go live. It's different for everyone. Like, some people go live like every single day. Some people go live like 3 times a week. It's kind of what works for you, but the message is that you should be going live. So this morning I was a nerd and I made some salad dressing live. You know, like it's kind of goofy, but it's just like something simple that I knew that I could do. I was doing it anyway. I might as well talk to people live and show them. So it's just anything you want to post about. Obviously, I love my animals, and got my kiddo all over here. So it's pretty much just like my personal page, really, except it's a little bit more like professional. Like, I'm making sure that pictures are like bright. You can see like what's happening in them. You don't want to post dark pictures. Nobody wants to see that stuff, because it's kind of confusing. Like, especially if it's a really dark picture and the message is really bright or happy, then it's like, people are just going to see that picture first, and you want them to be drawn in with it, not pulled away because it's dark and they don't understand why. So One of the things I wanted to touch on with posting, let me find an example here. And this was like super mind-blowing for me because I don't know why I never really thought about it this way. But just the words that you use when you're posting. So, and I'm more or less just showing something that's going on in my life. Here's a good example. Using we and us instead of I and me and you. So here's an example of a post. Do you ever feel like do you ever do something because you have to and maybe not because it's your favorite, like brush your teeth, do your laundry, comb your hair? Well, most people are gonna be like, yeah, I really actually don't like doing that stuff, but I do it every day because I don't like the dentist or whatever. Why? Because you don't want to have cavities, wear smelly clothes, or have rat's nest for hair, right? So you're like kind of asking questions, and it's like an internal like, yeah, that's me. Yeah, that's me. And then so now they're interested and they're going to read a little bit more. If you start a post out with like, I did this and I this and I that and me, people are like just bored. They don't really care about you, which is counterintuitive because the page is about you. So then it turns to we. This is how we need to look at working out. So you're putting yourself in the same group as them. You're not saying like you need to do this. I'm perfect, so I'm telling you exactly what you need to do because I know everything. It comes across that way. Like I never really thought about it that way, but it does when you start to think about it. So you put yourself in the group with them and say, this is how we need to look at working out. This is a necessity so we don't feel blah, blah, blah. And then it is okay to say a little bit about yourself, but just don't drone on about this long-winded story about you. And then, close it with, some type of hook. If you're sick of feeling that way, blah, blah, blah. Those are your call to action posts. And then another stuff to talk about. So then other examples of posts that will draw a lot of attention to your page are like questions, like just something silly. Like I posted like different pictures of how I put my eggs away in the carton, like you got to line them up, make them equal or whatever. And some people don't care and they're just throwing in there. I did like 4 examples. You've probably all seen those on Facebook. I took pictures and labeled them A, B, C, D and said, which one is correct? And like it got the most reach on anything on my Facebook. Like, and it's just silly stuff like that. Like, should I wear these shoes or these shoes? Which earrings go better with this outfit? Like simple stuff like that. Like people love to give their opinion. Mm-hmm. And I never really thought about it that way until we started doing this training. I'm like, well, duh. Every time I see stuff, even if I don't comment, I'm like, B, definitely B. I would go B. Like even though I maybe didn't comment, I still participated in that post and looked at it and considered what was going on. So I engaged in that post, which is what you want. So people might not even be commenting, but they're probably looking at it and deciding which one they would do. So you obviously don't want your whole page like filled with things like that. You want it to just kind of do those occasionally and keep them within kind of your avatar, things that you would be interested in and that your avatar would be interested in. So, we could probably go on for hours and hours about how to do the posts, so I won't go on about that. The biggest thing is just to start posting on your like page. And don't be afraid to get personal and be real with it. Like one of the most eye-opening things for me was when someone was talking about in our group, like how they really don't like working out, but they had been posting for like 3 years of like all these like, I love T25 or whatever, like pictures. And they really were like, I don't love it that much, but I do it and it works. So that's why I do it. I hate doing it every day and I push it off, but I do it because I know I need to and I feel better when I do. And I was like, duh, that's totally me. Like, I don't like wake up thinking like, so I'm so excited to go work out. Like I'm usually really tired and I don't want to get up, but I know I need to because I'll feel better. So like just being real on things like that. It doesn't have to be that subject, but don't project yourself as like this perfect person who has everything together and you're just standing on a pedestal telling everybody else how to live their life because you have it figured out. Like they need to read your post and think like, what's in it for me? So you need to read it back to yourself. And if you saw that post, what would you think? Like, what's in it for me? Or are they just like giving me a speech about how awesome they are and all the things that they've done and how they've lost all this weight and good for them? So Be real. Be real on there is the biggest thing I can say. And to just move your posts over to there, all of them. And then what you can do is you can occasionally tag yourself, like your personal page, just to help get a little bit more traction onto your like page. Because what I want to talk about next is why everybody doesn't post, bless you.
Thank you.
Is why I didn't post on my like page for a long time, is that when you first start posting on there, you're going to invite, people from your personal page to like it and all of that stuff. And you think like, okay, I got this page set up. It's going to start like rocking. People are going to like stuff, share stuff, whatever. And it's like crickets, like nothing happens. And it's super frustrating, which is why I've gone in like spurts of using it and not using it. Because for me, I was like, well, if nobody's going to like and comment on it, what's the point? If they like and comment on my personal page, I'd rather use that. Well, the thing about it is once you start getting more engagement, once you post on there regularly, you'll get more engagement and it will slowly like continue to grow. And then eventually Catherine and I will share a little bit more about how to run ads to get more eyes on your page. We're still kind of learning about that, so we won't get there yet. But you guys need to get a like page set up if you don't. And if you do have one, start using it regularly. You should be posting like 3 to 5 times a day on it.
Yeah, I think we should do a whole separate call on like split testing and stuff, but I feel like people need to really get their pages going before we kind of get into that.
Yeah. Can you guys still hear me? My computer's being weird.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're on your page, and this is on a desktop only, if you do this on mobile, you'll get barely any information. You click on Insights, which is right up at the top. Gonna be kind of blah, blah, blah at first. What you want to kind of focus on is, at first, you're going to wonder how your posts are doing. So you can click on posts over here and you can see every single post that I've put up recently, what the reach is, which is basically how many eyes were on it. The pink is reactions and comments. So I have like 430 likes on my page now, which I had like 150 like 2 weeks ago. So those are all cold market with ad testing. Like they don't fit my target market. I can tell that, but that's the next step. So I have some other eyes on my page right now that I don't think will stay. But anyway, so for having like a page of like 400 people, like a 200 reach post is like really good. Like even like these like 50s, 60s, 80s, whatever, it seems like that's not very many eyes, but it actually is when you look at the percentage of people that you have that already liked your page. So don't be discouraged by these numbers and don't be like, oh my gosh, I have this like big one and then they all got small again. People don't like me. It's not like that. So don't get hung up on those. But this is kind of a fun way to see, because maybe only 2 people liked it, but 60 people saw it. Like it gives you a little bit more like comfort in being able to actually see how many people saw it and that you didn't have to like boost it or do an ad to get 60 people to see something. That's pretty cool. The other thing, there's always different things in here you should just play around with and see what everything looks like. I like to look at reach too. So this dark orange is paid, so that's people that are clicking on the ads that I have running right now. And then the lighter orange is just organic reach, which is just off of my posts, how many people are seeing them. So you can see like some posts, and that's okay. So that's just a brief overview on some of the things that you can see when you go to Insights, but I feel like it's really helpful because sometimes you put a post on Facebook on your personal page and like you get no traction. It makes you feel like, why did I even bother putting it up? So I feel like this is helpful because you can go and look at the post and go, okay, well, that's not terrible. 60 people at least saw it and looked at it. To me, that's more comforting because sometimes you feel like you throw something out there and if you don't even feel like any eyes are on it, then I'm like, I want to take it down because I don't like that feeling. So it's like, well, people think I'm weird. And the thing about having a like page is separate from your personal page is people can kind of choose whether to like it or not. And don't be offended if people don't accept your like. My mom like hasn't accepted mine. Like, don't worry about it. So
some people don't even look at that.
Yeah.
Like ever.
And don't invite people to like your like page if you're not interested in working with them. Like, don't just invite everybody to invite everybody. Like, truly try to think about who you're inviting to like it or sending messages to saying, hey, check out my page or whatever.
Will you scroll up a little bit?
Yeah.
Another thing that you can look at is peak times of the day on certain days of like when most people are on social media, so you can have a better idea of when to put like your best posts out there too.
Yeah. Yeah, so you can scroll over, this is Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and see the bar of where most people are on it. He said not to focus a lot on that, but if you've got like a post that's really like a call to action or something like that, those are the ones you definitely want to post in like your higher times a day.
Yeah. It's helpful if you ever like are planning on scheduling posts.
Yeah. Because obviously, like, I don't know why you would put up a post at 3 a.m. unless you're out, wasted and getting some after hours food or something. But
I mean, Donald Trump does it.
he's doing it. Oh. So another thing I wanted to point out too, and this is probably one of my favorite things. So with a grain of salt, because you don't want to compare yourself to everybody else, but sometimes it's nice to just be aware of what other people are doing. So I'm going to show you guys a couple of other pages of people that have gone through Social Team Builder. So they're following the same thing that Catherine and I are doing. So I just try to keep my eyes on a few different pages that are different sizes. And I'm not comparing to what they're doing. I'm just keeping an eye on kind of like the types of words that they use in their posts. Like, it's not like, oh, they posted, what shoes should I wear? I'm going to copy them and do that today, which who cares if you do? Like, don't worry about that. Just make it your own. But so what you can do on this overview tab here, you click add pages and then you can add another person. So you can add up to 6 pages, including comparison wise, like obviously it's like, oh, this little tiny page down here, but it's fun because you can see your growth, like your percentage change from the previous week, and when it's a new page, that growth is going to be like way higher than pages that have been around for a while. So it's kind of fun. So I'll show you a couple of other pages. So this is Tony. Sorry guys, my computer. I've been doing Social Team Builder for quite a while and is like super successful, and my computer is like all but frozen.
She signed like 19 UK coaches the day it launched.
Yeah, like craziness. Where's this other one? Here's another one. I don't know why this isn't letting me scroll up to the top. I have her followed on my page because she's like kind of a country girl. She incorporates that piece of her avatar. There we go. So this is obviously a paid banner. You can tell the difference. You can see cutout things, but so Chrissy Ball would be a name that I would write down and check out her page. Look at what she's got written. See, she's got the same thing here. Click to learn more. So you're going to click on that and you're going to learn more about her. She's very similar, bright picture. You can see her eyes. And she is pretty cool. I like reading her stuff, and I relate to her because she's very like country. So I like to watch her page, but she's very successful. That's important to remember too, that you may not have a huge page right away, but you can still be successful. This is another favorite of mine, Natasha Pearson, Pehrson. If you follow Beachbody Champions at all, she did a couple of lives in there, and like she got like 86 Success Club points, I think, 1 month. And in the Beachbody Champions thing, like she was just like, I just talked to more people, you guys. Like that's all I did. I just talked to more people. It was really easy. I talked to more people, and I was like pissed when I watched that. I'm like, that is like that's not what you did. Like there's a difference between what you did at 10 and what you did at 86. Like, do you remember that team call, Catherine? When I was like, I want to know what people are doing.
And then we found out she went through Social Team Builder, and you were like, you're stupid. That's not what you did.
Like, you didn't tell anybody that that's what you did. So then Catherine and I start watching these things for Social Team Builder, and I'm like, oh, I get it now. Like, she has been doing this program. That's why she was 86. She put in the work. There's no getting around that. You still have to talk to a lot of people. She's right. But it made a lot more sense than how she went from like 10 to 86. So, again, another fun page to watch. She asked really like fun questions about like what to wear and things like that. And she's really cute and seems really fun. So her now, because I understand now how she's doing what she's doing. So I watch her page pretty closely. And then there's this other girl, Holly Hillier. If you've been listening to National Wake Up Calls, you've been hearing her just like move up the charts like absolutely crazy fast.
She's ranked like 12th right now, I think.
Yeah. And she went from like nothing to 12th. And she went through the Social Team Builder training as well. And again, it's not about comparing yourself to other people, but these are just examples that are great as far as like looking at their cover photo written behind it, looking at their main photo here, not necessarily copying what they post about, but how they talk in their posts, you know, the we and versus saying you and I and me and things like that. So because she's not posting anything different than any of us are. It's the way she's spinning it around to focus on like the we aspect. But also eventually, like I said, we'll talk about running ads and stuff too. And that just gets more eyes on your page. So some of their success, a lot of it is attributed to ads, but you can run an ad and get eyes on your page and because your content sucks. So the first thing you want to do is get your page set up, get it set up correctly, so that it's attractive and professional looking. And then you want to start posting in the same way. You want to be professional, care about people first. Basically, you just want to give, be like, instead of being like, here's a recipe, be like, look at this awesome food that I made. Does anyone want the recipe? And make them ask for it, like not giving in the sense of just like throwing information at them that they can just read, but showing them something and say, who wants to know more about this? Like I did one that was a picture of eggs in water and I was getting ready to boil them. And I said, I finally figured out the perfect way to boil eggs. Does anybody want to know what it is? It was like one of my most engaged posts. I was like, really? That many people? Like, okay. And so then I private messaged all of them and told them what it was. And some people were just like, yeah, now I'm curious, like, how is it different than what I do? You know, but it was engagement on the post. So it matters to pose it differently instead of just saying, this is how I hard boil eggs. Saying like, aren't these perfect? Do you want to know my secret? Stuff like that. It's just kind of spinning how you write things to get people to engage in them.
One of the other things that is helpful too with following these other people is if you do use like a Fiverr or something like that to make your cover photo, you can send them these cover photos and be like, these are some that I like, to kind of give them like an idea.
Yeah. Yeah, or she even mentioned just Googling cool cover photos for Facebook, or like maybe like for me, I'm into like, you know, obviously country and rural life and stuff. You know, I might Google, you know, rural life Facebook covers. Like I didn't even think about Googling that stuff before. And you'll get a bunch of stuff that you can screenshot or send to your Fiverr person because you don't want yours to look exactly like somebody else's.
Right.
But you, if you really like
style idea.
Yeah, exactly. Or colors or whatever. Example, Konisha Hill. You should definitely go to her page. Catherine, have you been to her page yet?
No, I haven't.
Dude, she's funny, and she like goes live like every morning, and she's like mixing her Metamucil, and she's like, "Gotta get my Metamucil, guys," and then she's like drinking, and then she's like, "All right, I got a question," and then she asks a question, and she's like, "All right, I'm gonna drink now. You guys answer," and like drinks Metamucil. It's hysterical, and she just like basically just chats about nothing. And she gets like crazy engagement. Like she's hilarious. Like I liked her page because like she entertains me. So she's another one that I would look up. She's all over her page, Kanisha Hill.
So this looks like her personal page.
Her personal, yeah, that I had. Here it is. Yeah, I don't know the Nana Poo thing, but here's another really good cover photo. Like it shows a transformation kind of, but it's not like the biggest thing on her cover photo, which I thought was kind of nice. But yeah, hers is really cute, but she's really funny. She's got, I think, a lazy. But anyway, so look her up too. And then the other thing, let's see. Oh, this is something I never thought about either. Like once in a while, I would post a picture of me and then put some words on it, like a quote or something like that. But I didn't do existing quote and it's already made. Like if you have like motivational quotes that you want to share or whatever, they really want you to move towards putting those on a picture of you so that it helps brand you, because otherwise they were like doing like page critiques and they were saying this looks like a Pinterest board. It's just like little quotes or memes or whatever. But that's just all it looks like is a Pinterest board, versus if you put you in it, it's going to be a lot more memorable and traceable like to you. So if someone starts to share it, they're going to recognize, oh, hey, that's the girl in the picture when they click on the originator of the post or whatever. So I've been trying to do more of that. It is a little bit more work because you're going to have to use, a different app or whatever, but you can still find just Google quotes and stuff and then just add them to a picture of yourself. What am I missing, Catherine?
One of the big things that we did right away was take a branding quiz. And I actually did post it on our team page several weeks ago. I can post it again, but it's really helpful for picking like it brings you down to like one or two really like main I guess brands that you kind of fall into. Like mine was, I can't remember what mine's called. Mine's called like Everyday Girl or whatever, and yours was like Compassion.
Yeah, Caretaker or something.
Yeah. So it actually like gives you a better idea of who your avatar is, and then they give you like font ideas and color ideas and like things that might be able to help you narrow down your brand. And then you kind of want to use like the same colors and fonts all the time, so you're not just like all over the place, just to kind of help like narrow that in for you, especially like cover photos and stuff. It helps with that too.
Yeah.
But I can post that again.
Yeah, that was really helpful.
That was a good one.
Yeah. So yeah. Anybody have any questions? We just have like a few minutes left.
It was really good.
Yeah, I mean, this is just kind of the start, but if you're not using your like page or because especially, some of it's rumor, but I think some of it's based on truth that Facebook's really going to move away from allowing people to use their personal page. So you might as well start building your like page now. Oh, another trick that I've to help build your page, use your challengers. Like give them like a task, like, hey, go to my like page and share a post and I will put you in a drawing for a free Energize. Like I've been doing that, and then it's like, or I'll tell them like, find this post on my page and comment on it. Like, and I don't feel like I'm like soliciting them. I don't do it every day or anything like that. But then they go in a drawing for like a free sample of Energize or Hydrate or something. And it gets more people on my page, and who better than them, because their friends are seeing them do this too. So if their friends are seeing that they liked my page and that they commented on something, they're going to be like, oh, if she's doing that, like maybe I'll ask her like, hey, how's that going or whatever. So those are great people to have like interacting on your page, and they know you and trust you, so they want to interact on your page.
That's a good idea.
But if they don't know about it or how to get there, they're not going to. So you can't be like upset that no one's engaging if you're not telling them about it. So, and sometimes like today I did the live video. I wanted them to see it, but I wanted them to go to my page and see it, because if I share it to the group, that's good too. It still gives you like engagement on a post, but it gets more traction because of Facebook's algorithm if they go to your page and do it. So, yeah.
Perfect.
Awesome. Well, I hope this was helpful. If you guys think of any questions, or if anybody's watching the recording and have questions, let us know.
Sounds wonderful. And I probably won't be able to get this recording up until Monday after we get back, just because I like have things to do. But that was really good, Jill. Thank you so much.
Yeah,